I thought my wife was out of town for work, so I spent the evening watching TV. Then I heard her voice upstairs, whispering. My blood ran cold when I realized she wasn't alone. My wife, Marissa, and I have been married for 27 years. We met in college at Dilly Man, and we've built a life together, 2 kids, a modest home, and countless memories. She's been working in sales for a multinational company, which often requires her to travel. Last week, she told me she'd be in Cebu for a conference. I didn't think much of it. Her trips have become routine. She left on a Thursday morning, and I settled into my usual routine: work, dinner, and some TV before bed. On Friday evening, I decided to treat myself to some old action movies. Around 9 p.m., I was dozing off on the couch when I heard something upstairs. At first, I thought it was the wind or maybe the neighbors. But then I heard it again, a soft giggle, unmistakably Marissa's. My heart raced. I muted the TV and listened closely. There it was again, followed by a man's voice. I felt a cold sweat break out. I grabbed my phone and tiptoed upstairs. The bedroom door was slightly ajar. I peeked in and saw Marissa with another man. They were laughing, completely oblivious to my presence. I felt like the floor had been pulled out from under me. I didn't confront them. I quietly backed away, went downstairs, and left the house. I drove around aimlessly for hours, trying to process what I'd just seen. The next day, I returned home. Marissa was gone. I didn't know where to start. I felt betrayed, humiliated, and lost. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't know if I ever will. I'm sharing this here because I need to tell someone, anyone. I feel like my world has been turned upside down, and I don't know how to move forward. So the day after I saw her with that guy, I just sat in my car for hours. I didn't go back until the sun came up. I was afraid. Not afraid of her. Afraid of what I'd say. Afraid of what I'd do. I don't know how I even made it home without crashing. My hands wouldn't stop shaking the entire night. I didn't sleep. I didn't eat. I didn't cry. I just sat there staring at the dashboard, trying to make sense of it. When I finally walked back into the house, it was like nothing had happened. Her bags were gone. The bedroom was clean. The sheets were changed. There was no sign that a stranger had been in my home, in our bed, just hours earlier. It was like it had all been in my head, except I know what I saw. I could still smell his cologne. Some strong, musky type that wasn't mine. That scent sat in the room like a slap. Around noon, she called me. "Hey babe," she said, like nothing happened. "Just checking in. The meetings are dragging, but I should be back by Monday." My heart pounded so loud I could barely hear her. I didn't say anything. I just listened. "Are you there?" she asked. I forced myself to speak. I mumbled something like, "Yeah, sorry, just tired." She didn't notice anything was off. Or maybe she did and didn't care. That's when it got worse. I checked her location. She shared it with me months ago when she went to Davao for a long trip and got lost on the way to a client's dinner. I never bothered to stop the share. When I checked it now, she was in Manila. Not Cebu. Not even close. I stared at the blinking dot on the map, sitting somewhere near Makati. She lied. She lied to my face, over the phone, like it was nothing. And then I realized something else. I had security cameras. Not inside the house, but outside. One in front, one at the back. I pulled up the footage. Sure enough, at around 5:47 p.m. the day before, I saw her getting out of a silver SUV right in front of our gate. She was with him. Some guy, maybe early 40s, tall, skinny, wearing a gray polo shirt. They both looked around before she unlocked the front door. She let him in. I wanted to scream. Instead, I saved the footage to a USB drive. I didn't know what I'd do with it yet, but I needed it. I had to know I wasn't crazy. I needed proof. I didn't eat all day. I just kept pacing. I kept playing back the sound of her voice upstairs. The way she laughed with him. Like I was just some memory in the background. A piece of old furniture. That night, I didn't stay in the house. I booked a room at a small hotel near Katipunan. I didn't want to see our bedroom. I didn't want to breathe the same air. I needed space to think. Then came the second twist. The next morning, while I was sipping coffee from the hotel's vending machine, my brother-in-law called me. Marissa's younger brother. We don't talk much. He's kind of quiet, keeps to himself. But this call? It hit different. He was whispering. "Kuya," he said, "I don't want to be in the middle of anything, but I saw 8 last night. In BGC. With someone. And they were close." I didn't say anything. She told me she was in Cebu. I thought maybe I misheard. "But then I saw you weren't with her." I don't know what's going on. I just thought you should know." I thanked him and hung up. So now I knew for sure. It wasn't just me. She was with him. In public. Not hiding as well as she thought. And even her own brother saw it. That same night, I went back to the house. It felt like a tomb. I looked at all the framed photos in the living room. Our wedding day, the kids when they were little, our trip to Tagaytay. Everything felt like a lie. Then I noticed something on the table. A hotel keycard. Makati Diamond Residences. She forgot it. Or maybe she wanted me to find it. I don't know. But the next day, I drove there. I walked into the lobby with a hoodie on, just to blend in. I asked the front desk casually if I could get a room for next week. While the clerk looked something up, I glanced at the guest book. Her name was there. Room 1509. Checked in Thursday. Supposed to check out Monday. I walked out before the clerk finished speaking. I haven't told anyone else yet. Not my kids. Not my best friend. Not my mom. I don't know what to do. This is all too much. But I'm writing this now because I feel like I'm sitting on top of a volcano, and it's about to blow. I've got proof. I've got her voice, her face, the hotel card, the security footage. And yet, I'm still frozen. I don't know if I'm going to explode or collapse. Something inside me has started to change. I'm not just sad anymore. I'm angry. I'm angry that I let this slide for so long. Angry that I thought her late nights were real. Angry that she used my trust like it was nothing. Angry that while I was cooking her favorite dinner last month, she was probably with him. Angry that I loved her with everything I had, and she used that against me. I haven't decided what I'm going to do next, but I know this isn't over. So I stayed away from the house again that night. I didn't even check into a hotel this time. I parked my car near the riverbank along Marikina and just sat there, watching the city lights shimmer off the water, trying to gather my thoughts. But thoughts weren't the only thing gathering. I started noticing a white van that drove past me twice in the same hour. Maybe I was just paranoid, but my gut was screaming something wasn't right. I turned off my phone and drove off toward Commonwealth. I figured it was nothing, just my mind playing tricks. But when I turned my phone back on later, I had 4 missed calls. 2 were from an unknown number. The other 2 were from my oldest daughter, B. Now here's where things take a real twist. B is 23. She works in Pampanga and only comes home twice a month. She rarely calls unless it's important. I called her back, and before I could say anything, she said, "Dad, Mom came to the condo last night." I froze. I didn't answer the door. I saw her through the peephole. She didn't knock long. She just stood there for a while, then left. I asked why she didn't let her in. "Because I know, Dad. I know about the guy." She had seen them before. Months ago. She didn't tell me because she thought maybe it wasn't serious, maybe it was just a fling, or maybe she was mistaken. But she started noticing the patterns. The extra perfume in the car. The strange receipts. The way Marissa's eyes shifted whenever someone brought up work trips. I asked B how long she'd known. Since December. I even tried to talk to her once. She denied it. Said I was imagining things. But she's lying, Dad. I know she is. I sat there holding the phone, unable to speak. Not only had my wife betrayed me, but she had also managed to pull our daughter into this silent storm. That crushed me more than anything. But wait, it gets worse. I decided to go back to the house the next day. I needed clothes, my laptop, and just answers. When I walked in, everything was quiet. I opened the bedroom door, ready to grab a bag of clothes, and there he was. The guy. The one from the security footage. He was sitting on the edge of my bed like he belonged there. I froze. He stood up, startled. We just stared at each other for what felt like a full minute. "I didn't think you'd be back this soon," he said. "Not sorry. Not scared. Just casual." I wanted to lunge at him, but something held me back. Maybe it was the shock. Maybe it was how calm he was. I asked him what he was doing in my house. "She told me she was filing for annulment," he said. "Said you were separated. She told me you were staying with another woman." My mouth went dry. I couldn't even process that. I just told him to leave before I called the police. He didn't argue. He grabbed his stuff and walked out, like he'd done it 100 times before. Like it was his house. Once he left, I sat down on the same bed he'd just been sitting on and looked around the room. And I realized something. Some of my clothes were missing. My favorite coffee mug? Gone from the kitchen. A few pictures of us? Missing from the frames. She wasn't just cheating. She was erasing me. Replacing me. Planning to live a second life under my nose. And telling him that I was the one who moved on. That's when I knew this was deeper than I thought. This wasn't some secret fling. This was a full-on betrayal of everything we built together. I didn't call her. I didn't text her. I called my lawyer instead. This story isn't over. Not even close. But one thing's for sure. She's not the person I married. And I'm not the man who's going to sit quietly and watch his life be rewritten by someone else. More updates to come. I didn't say a word to her that night. I didn't even tell her I'd seen him in our house. I waited. I waited until Monday when she was supposed to return from Cebu. I needed her to lie to me one last time. I needed her to show me who she really was. At 6:42 p.m., I heard the key turn. I was already sitting on the living room couch, laptop open, phone next to me, with the hotel keycard, USB drive, and a printout of the security footage all laid out neatly on the coffee table. She stepped in with her usual routine. Shoes off at the door. Small sigh like she was tired from work. Then she froze. She saw me. And then she saw the items on the table. "Hi," she said, voice too light, too normal. "You're home early." I didn't say anything. She walked over and sat across from me. Looked at the table. Looked at me again. Then she smiled. "You've been going through my things?" That's when I lost it. "You lied to me." Still calm. "About what?" "Cebu. The man. The hotel. My house." Now her expression changed. Just slightly. Her lips pressed together. "You don't understand." "Then explain." She looked at the footage, the keycard, the USB. She stayed quiet for a full minute. Then she started crying. But not a soft, guilty cry. A frustrated cry. An angry cry. "I was going to tell you," she said. "But you were never home. You were always busy with your stupid projects, your friends, your own world. I was working. For us. No, you were avoiding me. I was trusting you." The volume climbed. She got up, hands shaking now. "I felt alone for years, do you know that? You'd sleep on the couch more than you slept in our bed. You stopped talking to me. You didn't even notice when I changed my hair. This is how you fix that? By bringing a stranger into our home. She looked like she wanted to scream, but instead she whispered, "He's not a stranger." I blinked. What? We met before. Back when we were still in college. He found me on Facebook. We started talking. I stood up. So this was planned. You let him into our house. Lied to our daughter. Lied to your own brother. Her face fell. She knows, she asked. She knew before I did. The silence was deafening. Then she said the words I thought I'd never hear. I'm in love with him. I felt like the wind was knocked out of my chest. I couldn't breathe. You're what? I didn't mean for it to happen. But it did. I thought I could keep everything together, but I was wrong. I stared at her. This was the woman I built a life with. The woman I fought for, worked for, stayed up all night when the kids were sick for. And she threw it away for a fantasy. The front door suddenly opened. It was B. She looked between us. She saw her mom's tear-streaked face, saw the table, saw my expression. She didn't say a word. She turned around and left. B, wait, Marissa called out, but I stopped her. No, let her go. She didn't chase after her. We sat there, in silence. Nothing left to say. Eventually, she said, I'll go stay with my sister. I didn't stop her. As she packed a bag, I sat in the same spot, staring at the photos on the wall. Each one was like a punch to the gut. She left without saying goodbye. The aftermath wasn't peaceful. B didn't come home for a week. My son, Miguel, who studies in Baguio, called me crying when he found out. He said, I never saw this coming, Dad. Neither did I. The house felt cold. The silence had a different kind of weight now. I got messages from her brother, apologizing for not telling me sooner. Her coworkers, when they found out, tried to stay neutral. Some said they were shocked. Others said they weren't surprised. Everyone had an opinion. But me? I just felt empty. I stayed angry for weeks. Then came sadness. Then something else. Not peace exactly, but understanding. She wasn't who I thought she was. Or maybe I wasn't who she needed anymore. Either way, the trust was gone. And without that, what are we even holding on to? I filed for annulment. She didn't fight it. We didn't scream during court hearings. We didn't even look at each other. It's been 4 months now. B comes home more often. Miguel calls more. We've started healing. I still think about Marissa. Sometimes I miss her. But I miss the version of her that probably never existed. I still live in the same house. For now, I'm repainting the bedroom next month. I learned something from all this. You can love someone with your whole heart and still lose them. You can give them your best and still not be enough. But you'll survive. I did. The marriage ended. The pain was real. But so was the growth. And now, I'm still standing. Maybe a little more cautious. A little more tired. But stronger. And ready for whatever's next.